Hotep Senuhena Senut, ET, then Isha Kandu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. As usual, I'm going to check that the sound is okay. One moment, please. Let me check the sound. Okay, have the advert. I have to wait a few seconds for the ad to end. Sound is nice. I wanted to touch on a few things really, even though preferably I would like people to call in and say what's up. This one I don't need. Let's record that one. And then that one. Yeah, now I've heard that someone who is known for plagiarism and exotic claims has added a new unusual statement to his pedigree, which is that the Garden of Eden is cognate with Kemet, or vice versa. Kemet is cognate with the Garden of Eden. So I would like to hear it from the horse's mouth. So whoever knows where to hear that statement, then I would like to hear it for myself. Because I've heard about, a volcano and a Kemetic deity, and I'm thinking, it might be just exaggeration, extrapolation. But that Garden of Eden being cognate with Kemet, I heard it several times. So I wouldn't mind if you just let me know where I can hear that, okay? Now, there's another thing I wanted to touch on. I have shared the link on Twitter. Deborah Samuel. Deborah Samuel. I've shared the invite link for whoever wants to get on the panel. Deborah Samuel is a student in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, which is ruled mainly by the Sharia law. You can consider it some sort of Islamic state. And she was a Christian young lady who was living in a majority of Muslim in an area with a majority of Muslims. And from what I understand, c'est pas bon ça. From what I understand, there was a WhatsApp group created, and people started talking about religion. So she stated, "Well, this group is supposed to be about the studies, not about religious issues." So after that, she was labeled as someone who had blasphemed against Islam and against Prophet Muhammad. So people were furious and wanted to get at her. From what I read, people from outside of the school came in. The security tried to hide her away until the police arrived. So some people really tried to help the young lady. Unfortunately, the mob was too numerous. So they caught her, they dragged her out, they beat her to death, then they burned her body. And the video footage of her being beaten has been circulating online. I actually saw a few seconds. She was laying on the ground and being beaten. She looked unconscious. Maybe she was already gone. And people threw stones at her. And when I say stones, in countries like that, it's like in Haiti. Because so many times you will have houses that were not completed. you'll find really it's like blocks, more blocks than stones. You know, I mean, when we say stones, we think about small stuff. You know how it is. Shh, c'est bon. And she was also beaten with very big, large, and thick pieces of wood, planks. Maybe you call them like that. Now, there's one guy who went in front of the camera holding a box of matches, and he stated, "Yeah, I set her ablaze. These are the matches that I use," and he looked very proud. And I think some of you have seen it. Well, maybe some of you didn't actually. She's a girl in Africa who was killed, and a lot of times people don't mind. Just like when that underage girl was raped by a Pan African scholar, people don't care. But it's such a bad image for the country. The president the president of Nigeria has condemned this murder. And the funny thing is that two people were arrested over the murder of Deborah Samuels. And a very large crowd of people went to the station demanding for their release. They demanded for their release. Can you imagine? Wait, one moment. Now, there's no outcry. There's no outcry for that girl who was murdered. I have an idea why there's no outcry. Some people might say people die every day, but that was a horrific murder. And the motive for the murder is extremely sad. And you can ask around, you can ask the African centered organizations, Pan African organizations, pro black organizations. You can ask them why they're not talking about this. Reste tranquille, toi. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on, of course, there's been this killing in Buffalo. These white supremacists targeted black people. He killed 10 people. What surprised me is that the guy is alive. We have so much footage of people who were stopped by the police and somehow, some way, they ended up being murdered. This guy killed 10 people, and just like the Dylan Roof guy, he's in good health. Apparently, he published a manifesto before he committed his act, and he also live streamed his killing spree on some social media. The dude apparently is only 18 years old. Normally, he should get at least a life sentence, at least, if not the death penalty. In France, a couple of days ago, There's a white supremacist who actually shot and killed somebody. He was caught as well. We'll probably not hear much about his sentencing because usually it's like that in here. We hear about the event. There might be outcry, but then we don't know about the rest of the case, the investigation. We have Dr. Kaida. Okay, well, looks like some advert. Let me have a look at this channel just for the sake of curiosity. 43 subscribers.
Papa.
All right. Okay. All right. Now, I want to look for the link because I have it on some other device. I will share the actual screen. Okay. No. Let me share the screen now. It is probably small. Yes, it is. If I go full screen, okay, full screen, we can kind of see it. But what I can do is share the link, I guess. Now, I think this is the Facebook page of Phil Valentine's organization. Yes, indeed. Because Reketi Amen used to give Medunacha classes over there, but she's no longer doing it over there now. So let me share the link to this page here. Reste comme ça, sinon tu vas aller là-bas. Tu as compris?
Papa.
I've shared the link. Shh. I'll share the link in the chat and I'm going to read briefly. I won't read the whole thing. Reketi Amen Jones, PhD, linguist, professor of language. Dr. Reketi, wait. Can do it like this. Hold on. Dr. Reketi spent many years as a community activist in Chicago. She attended Chicago City Colleges, the University of Illinois as an undergraduate, Spertus College of Jewish Studies, and then received a full 4-year fellowship to the University of Chicago Oriental Institute. This is the leading school of Egyptology in the United States, to study the PhD program in Egyptology. While in Chicago, she began working with Dr. Jacob Caruthers and others at Northeastern College. A group of them founded the Kemetic Institute and later founded the Kemetic Temple of Chicago. Reketi was initiated as a priestess Hemet Necher of the temple. Among the many things that she did at the Kemetic Institute was teaching Medu Neter, Egyptian hieroglyphs, and directing and teaching in the Institute adult and children's program. Dr. Reketi also taught Egyptian hieroglyphs at Northeastern College in Chicago for 2 years. She has been an instructor of Medu Neter now for 25 years. So, teaching privately and hosting workshops on the language and other related topics. In 1983, Dr. Reketi spent 4 months in Senegal, West Africa, working and visiting with the renowned African historian Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop. She later she translated 2 of his books from French to English. Reketi was a founding member of the Association of the Study of Classical African Civilization, ASCAC, in 1983. To send her to her mommy because that was too much. Now we have a Pan-African Designs who wrote, "Thank you for sharing this information." You're welcome. I'm almost done reading this short bio. So she was a founding member of ASCAC in 1983. In 1985, she moved to New York to teach hieroglyphs at City College of New York. While in New York, Reketi established ASCAC student groups and was a regular speaker at First World, a community lecture forum in Harlem. She became a popular, much demanded lecturer, being one of a few African American experts on Medu Neter language, and at that time, the only woman lecturing on the subject of Kemet. She has lectured and continues to lecture on a variety of topics related to ancient Africa and Kemet at universities and colleges all over the US and overseas. Dr. Reketi has contributed to numerous special programs in the United States with museums and several universities. In 1988, she founded her own institute for the study of Medu Neter language and history, the Institute of Kemetic Philology. From 2005 to 2009, Dr. Reketi was an instructor of foreign languages at Rust College in Holly Springs, Mississippi, teaching French and Mandarin Chinese. Bear with me. My daughter's just driving me insane now. All right, so from 2005 to 2009, Dr. Reketi was an instructor of foreign languages. I read that already. She was teaching French and Mandarin Chinese. She has a strong background in linguistics, having studied and obtained some proficiency in French, Chinese, Egyptian hieroglyphs, ancient Coptic, and biblical Hebrew. Then we have her institutional affiliations. All right. So we can see that she translated some work of Cheikh Anta Diop. All right. And that's her picture here. So once again, brother Reggie, we have it that she is actually a Hemet Neter, a priestess. So people should be fair. If they want to go at somebody for being a priest, for being religious. Oh, I see you, James, but I only take people who show their face. So feel free to set your camera up so I can see your face. Otherwise, you can stick with the chat. But I appreciate you calling in. And Yes, if people want to go at some individuals for being priests, Kemetic priests, either they should holler at Reketi Amen, Dr. Reketi Amen, for being a priestess, or they should keep it the same. They should keep the same energy. They should be fair. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that being said, I was thinking about the friendship scholarship because with the current events going on lately, oh, private chat, give me a second. Yeah, no problem. Take your time, brother. Take your time. With the events that's going on, that's been going on lately, it has resurfaced that some people have plagiarized, and you have a team of homies, you know, and all three of them plagiarized. They're part of the same crew. So it appears that it's their method. That's the way to get down. And I remember people talked about this plagiarism. They went at great length. I actually shared some links. But it looks like people didn't care. It looks like people didn't care, didn't bother. It's okay. Why do we let stuff like that slide? See, we're getting older now. Some people are making their transitions. So ultimately, the young ones getting into this information, they will look up to people like us who have larger platforms. You know, people who have more subscribers than I. There's quite a few who have way more subscribers. When they live stream, you know, they have hundreds of people in attendance. But we come from an era, the people that we used to look up to, you know, the Sheikh Anta Diop, the Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Chancellor Williams for some, Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Amos Wilson. There's so many to name. We did not usually hear claims or allegations or accusations of plagiarism. Now, some slick one might put up some article and say, look, see, that guy was accused of plagiarism. But it's not something we normally hear when it comes to those individuals. Why has the standard disappeared? There's no standard anymore. There is no moral anymore. Why is it so? Do we value the information? If we value the information, we should expect some standard. Shouldn't we? But do we value the information? I have been sharing some videos from the Kush exhibit. Really, the full title is Pharaoh of the Two Lands. And they are talking about the 25th dynasty. Now, just today, on Europe's largest news channel, they talked about that exhibit. They showed the Swiss Egyptologist called Bonnet, who have been digging in Sudan for about 20 years. He wanted to validate his hypothesis. And that's what they said. That's how they worded it. And ultimately, after 20 years of digging, he found those remains of the rulers, the people that ruled Kemet for about a century. The Nubians, as some say, the Kushites, as others say. You can look at the amount of views in the videos of these artifacts. Now, if someone will film artifacts of biblical characters, you can imagine the amount of views. Those are artifacts of people who have lived, people whose historicity is not even questioned at all. Is there any interest? Now, that's just for Kush or Ta-Nehisi or Nubia. Now, at the end, they had this funny spin. The people commenting mentioned ancient Egypt and ended up saying ancient Egypt thus owe a lot to Africa. If you speak French, you can go on the TF1 or LCI and you can see the replay. That's basically the last sentence of this news coverage about that Couche exhibit in the Louvre Museum, Paris, France, which is often said to be the largest museum in the world and the most visited museum in the world. But very shortly, the largest museum in the world will be the one in Kemet, not far from Giza. It's about 98 to 99% complete. It will probably open this year. So it's funny to hear. Oh, maman, dépêche-toi. So it's funny to hear that ancient Egypt owes a lot to Africa, when Egypt is located in Africa. So besides this Kush exhibit, I've also been sharing videos from different museums in the world. It seems that people are more interested in smooth talkers, sleek talkers. And it's a shame. And it's not new. Because over the years, when I go to museums, I rarely see black people. So sometimes I wonder, should I change the way I go about things? Sometimes people just like to talk. Maybe there's no need to show so many artifacts and deal with ancient languages because people don't seem to be interested. Chérie, si tu veux faire quelque chose. Wait. So let me know what your take is about this. Now, as for the Medu Nature, well, even on this platform alone, people can witness it. The people are regular. The people who watch this platform for a good 2 years, soon 3 years. They've been saying that they want to learn the Medu Nature, that they will start learning it soon. And the majority of them never even bothered trying to learn it. Most people who actually registered for the Medu Nature class are people who happen to stumble upon my channel. They saw that I was live, they saw a title that they liked, and then they just, called in, said what's up, or participated in the chat, asked me how it works. I gave them the email address, and that's it. So sometimes people want to look good and act like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's just like those people that I've been knowing, and like 20 years ago, they said that they will read such and such book, but 20 years later, they never did. But if you ask those people, they'll tell you that they do the work. that they do the knowledge. Let me know what you think. Feel free to come talk to me. Because ultimately, I remember 2008. 2008, nearly everybody in the conscious community geared towards Kemet. The Moors were big at that time. And since they claim to be the custodians of the Egyptian science, and besides, you can see from many of their names, now it's probably more Asiatic names, more Islamic names, but back then you have many people with Kemetic names. And in the end, wait. Many times you will have names like Kemetic names, and at the end you will have El, and you will have Bay. There's another thing I wanted to address, and I just remember now. Sometimes you will hear individuals talk about other people, but mainly it will be in private. Because among the so-called conscious community, there are different camps, different teams, different crews. And you will have some people who publicly will act like, kumbaya, it's all good, we're all brothers, we're all sisters, we're all working in the same direction, we all have the same goal, it's all good, it's all love. But in private, they will have some other speech. And my advice to the brothers and sisters is whatever you hear somebody say about another individual, see if the person can say that publicly. Of course, in a lifetime, you will not say privately everything that you will say publicly, but see if they are consistent. Because a lot of people like to say stuff and they will, spread some rumors, trying to assassinate characters and so on. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but usually when I address certain people, I deal with facts, stuff that they said or stuff that they have done, and whenever I can, I substantiate it. Because, for example, if you speak with French Pan-Africans, French-speaking Pan-Africans, I'm very well aware that they will not say positive things about me. But the fact is that the French Pan-Africans is documented. They have defended rapists and pedophiles for years. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you speak with some people worldwide that celebrate Kwanzaa, most likely they will not tell you positive things about me because it's known that I've been very critical of Kwanzaa and the founder of Kwanzaa because Kwanzaa is a fraud. Kwanzaa is not an African holiday. See? So you have people like, no, I was going to say the name, but some very known African-centered individuals or Afrocentric individuals that have promoted Kwanzaa because the founder, he's homie, But it's just a plagiarism of the Jewish holiday Hanukkah. And sometimes people know that some stuff are fraudulent, but they will still support it. Why? Just because there's a few people that deal with it, that support it, or that practice it. We like to talk about getting the right information, following the path of our ancestor, and we find ourselves celebrating a Jewish holiday. So I'm well aware that some people will actually have a lot of negative stuff to say about me. But you notice that publicly, you don't really hear it like that. Because some people just make money with the frauds, with the scams that they are practicing and that they are spreading to the masses. Just like recently, we have, c'est bon, ça suffit. Recently, we have some people who are making exotic claims, plagiarizing books, but they act like everybody else is in the wrong. So just tell me, brothers and sisters, is it cool to plagiarize? I remember when there was a young brother who actually opened some sort of clinic within some hospital premises or clinical premises. I think he was underage, like 17 or something. And he sounded very convincing. He presented himself as a doctor, he had a website and all that, but he never had the qualification. Sounds familiar. So he was ultimately arrested. And I remember reading somebody commenting, "Oh, salute to the brother. The brother's intelligent. He managed to do this." And I'm like, you congratulated someone for engaging in fraudulent activity. Is that the mentality? Whenever you want to get involved with some organization, make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. You know, that's what I want to say. So, James, I don't know if you ultimately want to get on the panel because I still don't see any camera. I just see an avatar. And if anybody else wants to get on the panel, then feel free. I've shared the invite link. It's in the chat. All you have to do is click on it. Whether you use a PC, Mac, Windows, tablet, smartphone, that's all you need to do. Feel free. I've been speaking for 38 minutes. And now I would like to take some callers. For those who are not afraid to show their face. And if there's no callers, then you know how I do. I call it a day. So let me know. And if you don't want to get on the panel, then you can use the chat to communicate with me. So, James, are you still planning on getting on the platform? Oh, here it is. Welcome, brother Hotep Sen. You're muted right now, brother.
Okay, yeah, I had my mic muted. Excuse me.
No problem. You just woke up.
It's kind of it's like early. Well, for me, it's kind of early over here in America. So I just wanted to come on and thank you for I seen that we was some confusion about who was speaking on that particular video. So I just wanted to come on and say thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
So how you doing? I'm James. I'm here in America, Texas to be I'm in Texas here, so down south here in Texas. Been following you probably about 10 years. You changed your name.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the same channel. You just changed the name of the channel, but I remember you long time ago. Now, what I want to say is, like, I've been in. I know you got your kid. I've been in the conscious community probably since about 2008. A little bit after SETI became popular, right? So like you were just saying something about how it used to be this way and it used to be that way. I was there in that infancy stage. And then when I started, trying to teach some of the people on my Facebook page, because YouTube wasn't even, it was just taking off, but I was teaching on my Facebook page and the information was so new that people would think that you were Nation of Islam or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they hadn't heard someone talking without either being a Christian or a Muslim. You have to be one of the other back then. And when people started hearing about this, then it caught on. And like you said, it was a big movement at one time. What do you think, Shaka, caused it? What do you think it caused it to get to where it is now, to where it's almost demonized? Like if you're a Pan-Africanist, or if you're a Black nationalist, or if you're dealing with Kemetic history, what do you think caused this to take for us to take it to where our people are starting to reject it like they're doing now?
I think that the Abrahamic believers allied themselves to go against the Kemetic teaching or Kemetic science, because what was happening is that, for example, the Moors were very big. We had Tash Tariq Bey, we had Sabia Bey, we had Alim Bey, and one of the reasons why they were so big, I guess, is because they are touching on everything. They're Islamic, but they claim to be Kemetic as well. They claim to be indigenous of America. They claim to be from Morocco. They claim so many different cultures,
Right.
including fictional ones like Amul, Lemuria, and Atlantis.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you something, Shaka.
Yeah,
Okay, you're in France, right?
I am.
Okay, is it a big Moorish movement there as
No.
well?
No.
So y'all are learning this from the internet.
Of course, yeah. I've been
Okay,
following.
that's what I want to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been
Okay, now
following.
hold on. Let me give you this little nugget. Down south, we was not dealing with any of that either. We're right here in America. That's only going on the East Coast at this. In 2008, we're learning the same thing that everybody else is learning, right? So just to put that into context for everybody.
Yeah, and those people, mainly from Asiatic movements, they were used to teaching their flock, teaching their groups in their temples, in their places of worship and places of gathering. They were not used to having their teachings challenged. But then with the internet, growing up, building stuff like that, and we had, of course, Sanetta, who have people debating. Then for the first time, those people had their information challenged. So the public was exposed to not just what those people used to claim, but one big example is that debate. Hotep Topcast.
Okay, now
Hotep
which debate are you referring to?
The one between Seti and Alim Bey, because I remember.
Wait, hold up. Now, let's put this in context. You talking about when Seti was on the couch in Sanetta's living room?
No, not that one.
Okay.
The one after. When he was on the couch, that was with Sabio Bey and Brooklyn Intelligence. And
right.
I don't even think that guy still has a presence online. Sabio Bey is still, present online. So no, it's the one with Alim Bey. Have you seen the one between Seti and Alim
sure.
Bey?
This has been so many years ago. I've watched it all. So
it's the one where it was in the what did you call it?
The auditorium.
National, I don't know if it's a national Black theater, but it's that venue where most of the debates actually took place. So
okay,
Alim Bey, was really crushed during that debate, But before the debate, I remember when people, we have James Powell. We had service. People were going to the street. Sanetta went in the street and asked people, "Who do you think will win?" And everybody, most people were like, "Oh, Alim Bey." Said he wasn't that known. Said he was known with his videos then, but he wasn't known, for getting down in the debate. And the debate was just a disaster for Alim Bey. And there's so many things that we've seen, and particularly their teachings. Black means death, white means purity, and all these things. So that's when people got to get a taste of the things that they don't normally teach. And even recently, I've heard some stuff about Drew Ali and the things he used to claim, and it's just very, very weird, But that did not really make too much noise. Now with the NOI, it's kind of the same thing as well. A lot of people don't know that they teach that Africans are living a jungle life, that Africans are not civilized, and that we are marked, we are disfigured because we rebelled against God, and our phenotype, our physical appearance, is the essence of ugliness. A lot of people don't know that. See,
Right. Hold on, sir. So do you know that they also claim the tribe of Shabazz and the significance of that to Heru?
I don't know about the significance with Heru when it comes to the
Oh
tribe of Shabazz.
man, wait till I'm gonna see. You need to see this video that I did on this. It is
Uh,
excellent. It's
but
excellent because
sorry, is this something that Elijah thought?
yes, it's a book that was written on it, and you can actually see them speak on it. You know that they claim that they're from the tribe of Shabazz.
Hmm.
Well, that is the tribe of Shabazz is Heru.
No, but that's not Elijah Muhammad who said that.
Okay, who said that?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you. Is it Elijah Muhammad is teaching that?
Hold on.
I don't know
Who
all the
came
teaching.
who came up with the Nation of Islam?
Well, Elijah Muhammad was taught by Far Muhammad.
Well,
So,
maybe it was Farad Muhammad that taught this.
well, anything that Fard Muhammad taught, we know it via Elijah Muhammad. You know.
Right.
Um. Now, Elijah Muhammad's brother was there. Some people said that actually his brother was supposed to lead the nation and so on. But besides some people who are from that era, you might have some other people who say, yeah, I knew Far Muhammad, he said this, he said that. But mainly we get it from Elijah Muhammad. So we have to know really where that comes from. We have to know where that comes from. And Elijah Muhammad, there's a lot of books. People are not more familiar with uh, How to Eat and Live, Message to Black Men, The Theology of Time and Our Savior Has Arrived. But there's plenty of other books by um, MEMS, Messenger Elijah Muhammad Propagation Society. They're the one who used to own, I don't know if it's still the case, but they're the one who used to own um, basically the copyright for um, Message to Black Men in America, which is the most famous book of Elijah Muhammad. But they've made many books from his speeches, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I got myself quite a fair bit of them because I was supposed to debate with one of their doctors that later on backed down. So if maybe when you have time, you can find out who actually taught that it has something to
I
do with
just
him.
sent you the video in the back chat.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let's have a look.
But
Let's have
this
a look.
see and the person who actually first brought this to my attention was Shaka Amos.
Okay.
He was the first one to bring. He actually did a presentation on it on Sanetta's channel one day in the living room. Then
Oh,
after that video, my nephew was watching Malcolm X on TV, and then he, we were I'm kind of teaching him his history, and he came back and asked me a question about the tribe of Shabazz, and so I went and looked into it, and if you look at it, it's the tribe of Heru. That's the origins of the tribe of Shabazz. It comes from where does Master Farad Muhammad is supposed? He's not really an Arab. He's a what is that?
well, they
Is
claim
he
that
Turkish? I
they,
think he's Turkish or
no,
something like
no,
that.
no. What's going on is that the Nation of Islam teaches that Far Muhammad comes from Arabia. His father was from Arabia, from the Quraysh tribe, which is a tribe of Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, and that his mother was in some country like around Azerbaijan, some country, some area in the Caucasus Mountain. So his
Mm-hmm.
mother was a white Caucasian, and his father is allegedly jet black. So some people, and I think it came from the Nubians, they had released, there was an issue with Sheikh Dawood versus uh, Far Muhammad or something like that. I forgot the exact title. And I think that's where we first heard that Far Muhammad was actually some sort of Turkish agent of Hitler or the Nazis or something like that. But other people like Paul Guthrie, who unfortunately removed this video, but we can still find them. It's called Get on Board the Wheel. He argued that Far Muhammad comes from India/Pakistan because this first it was one territory and
Mm-hmm.
later on there was a split. And he's not the only one actually. Where are the books there? I haven't finished that book here. It's written by a PhD called John Andrew Morrow, and he happens to be a white dude, probably of Hispanic descent. But he's a white dude who happens to be a Muslim as well. And so he got his PhD from the University of Toronto, and he showed the different teachings that are similar to Fard Muhammad. And it's not just Islam or Islamic. You have a bit of different beliefs from the East, from Asia. And then there's the other book here, which is quite interesting. Now, I don't really know the author, but that book is called The True Story of Fard Muhammad. The title is Chameleon, and it's written by Dr. A.K. Arian. And that guy that did a lot of research, he pulled up a lot of news articles talking about Fard Muhammad, and it looks indeed like it was most likely from this area of India/Pakistan. Besides this book, The Messenger, The Rise and Fall of Elijah Muhammad, written by Carl Evans. And Carl Evans argues, for example, the name Shabazz. There is that name, an area, I forgot if it's India or Pakistan. And there's also Kalat, if I'm not mistaken, the name of Elijah Muhammad's brother. And that name, if my
so hold up, you said that with a French accent. So do you mean Khaled? Like
yes, Khaled, K-A-L-L,
yes. It's just a little
Khaled, yes, indeed. And that name is found somewhere in those areas. So Dr. Wesley Muhammad called Carl Evans a deceiver and a liar. And every time Dr. Wesley Muhammad goes against somebody, it's because that person, is like, touching something sensitive, Hence why he wanted to debate Paul Guthrie as well. And Paul Guthrie said, yeah, I'm down, let's go. Then Elijah Muhammad was like, yeah, I'll address it soon. And it took him like maybe 4 years to address it. You know what I'm saying? So, just one moment. That thing that the tribe of Shabazz is actually Heru, or the tribe of Heru. That's not some Nation of Islam teaching. That's some conclusion that somebody else came to.
Okay, this is what I want you to do, yes. Shaka. Could you play that video at the 4:54 mark, and then you will be able to see, because Shaka is the one who was first, the one who made that argument. I want just to see what you think of what his finding was on that.
Okay, let me go to the
4:54 mark.
Private chat. No,
it's probably just a couple of minutes.
Just so that the people know what we're talking about. I'm going to share the video in the chat so they will have it. So the title is Nation of Islam's Lost Tribe of Shabazz is secretly the tribe of Heru. So I'm going to put that title there. There it is. So which minute did you want me to go to?
The 4:54 mark.
Okay, 4:54. Let me share it.
Well, let me go ahead and share the video, and then I'll come back.
I'm going to give you just a few more so that people can see I'm not making this up. All of that Islam stuff comes out of Christianity, and it comes out of the Christian language that was used in the Syriac Orthodox Church. Hold on a second. Just give me 1 second, because you're seeing a whole bunch of stuff right now you're not even supposed to see. Pause that. You're going to love this. Ooh, hold on. Boom. Okay. Now, Elijah Muhammad taught black people that we were the lost tribe of Shabazz.
That's right.
Right? But every time you look it up in Arabic, you can't find it. There's nothing on Shabazz in Arabic. Why? Because the language that Fard Muhammad was dealing with was Syriac. He was not dealing with Arabic. Although it came in the Arabic form to you, he was dealing with Syriac. That's why when you look in the Arabic, You can't find anything about Shabazz in the Arabic. I'm going to show you. You have to go to the grandfather language of Arabic, which is Syriac, to crack the code for Islam. I'm going to show you where Shabazz came from. Come here. What language does that say? Eastern Syriac, Western Syriac, Eastern Phonetic. That means, how do you pronounce it? Shabazz. Do you see that?
Yep.
Shabazz. Am I making it up?
No, you're not.
Shabazz. It's from the Syriac language. Right here. What does it mean? A falcon or a hawk. Why? Because they associated us with bird-headed gods like Horus, Heru. That's why they call us the lost tribe of Shabazz. You're seeing it there with your own two eyes. In Syriac, Shabazz. Where's it at? Right there, Shabazz. You see the little mark over? Matter of fact, I'm going to make this bigger. Hold on. Where's your, here you go. Boom. Now we can make it big.
Yeah, I've heard the argument, and really, to me, it's interpretation. You know, it's interpretation. Now, I don't disagree if Shaka Amos says that Syriac is the grandfather language to Arabic. You know,
Okay.
but here we have some interpretation about the meaning of Shabazz. We heard about the falcon, so he came to the conclusion that it has to do with Horus or Heru. But this is not something that Elijah Muhammad thought. Now, I don't think Elijah Muhammad was dealing with Syriac, but Paul Guthrie has argued that Far Muhammad wrote in Urdu. Now, Urdu is a language, you know, spoken in Pakistan and India, and it's written with the Arabic script. You know, just like the Farsi, the language in Iran, formerly known as Persia, is also written with the Arabic script, you see, or Arabic alphabet. So our brothers in America, if they see somebody writing with, you know, Arabic letters, then we cannot fault them for presuming that this is the Arabic language, but this is just the Arabic script. See, and
So you saying that was the mistake that was made when in the inception of the Nation of Islam?
No, not just the writing alone, because Far Muhammad claimed to be from Arabia, you know. Well,
Okay.
at least Elijah Muhammad did, you know. There's that video of Warith Din Muhammad, the son of Elijah Muhammad, the one that succeeded Elijah Muhammad after his passing in 1975. And in that video, he's facing Farrakhan. If people put Warren Din Muhammad and Farrakhan, they will surely come across that video. I don't think there's many video of the two together. And in that video, if people put Shaka Ndugu Kemet checking Dr. Wesley Muhammad, now I can't remember if there's 5 parts. That was the time when YouTube had the 10 minutes limit on the videos. But it's one of the 5 parts. And he's talking about, Elijah Muhammad's son's talking about the time where his father, Elijah Muhammad, told him that, you know, if he doesn't want to believe that Far Muhammad is God, then it's going to be a problem, you know. And he said, well, I'd rather believe that you are rather than him, because he was a white man. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but his mother told him, you know, just say you believe. Just say. He said, no. And he said, tell me the truth, Mama. What did he tell you? And he said that his mother told him that he's not God, and even prophet is too big of a title. And once again, I'm paraphrasing. As a matter of fact, you know what? It's always best to show. You know.
See, that's what I be saying.
Yeah.
You let them say what they want to say in their own words.
It's better, so this way we get this out of the way. But it's actually part 1. It's actually on the Ankakek's channel, which is Brother Ank's channel.
Mhm.
That's back in 2010. You know, that was before the turmoil that took place. But we're
Right.
cool now. We're cool now. So I will share the screen, or I will share the link first, then I will share the screen.
You said the term war.
Yeah, there was some turmoil, but you know, I don't really want to dwell on that. Some people have followed that. You know, there was a split, let's say, split in ideology, and we beefed for a while. It wasn't serious beef, but we went back and forth. You know.
Right.
So I've shared the link, and I'm going to share the screen. So I will look for the part that I'm talking about. There it is.
Muhammad saying how his own father, Elijah Muhammad, lied about Fard Muhammad.
And I told him that I could more readily believe that he was God than I could believe that his teacher was God, because his teacher was a white man and he said white people were devils. So I didn't change. And as I was leaving, my mother was hurt, and it hurt me to see her hurting like that. She said she walked me to the door, which she didn't do. That was normal for her. When my father excused you, and she stood on the porch at the door and she said, Wallace, why don't you go back there and accept this? Just say you believe. I said, Mama, tell me what Mr. Farad told you all. I said, did he tell you he was God? And she looked like her face went blank and looked like she didn't know what to say. And a few seconds she said, no, he did not. So in fact, he told us to not even call him prophet. Said that was too big a title for him. Then I said to my mother, how can you ask your son now to accept a man as God who told you prophet was too big a title for him?
All right.
Yeah, I
So,
seen that before.
all right. So, of course, Nation of Islam members, will probably say that, Warith was not saying the truth. It's more convenient. The Nation of Islam members feel like everything that Elijah Muhammad thought is right and exact, even though Elijah Muhammad wrote that there would never be a black president under the stripe and stars of America, but we had Barack Obama. And some people try to play games talking about Barack Obama is biracial, he's mixed race. But Fard Muhammad,
Hold on.
Fard Muhammad
Is
is
that
mixed
not
race.
true? Hold on. Hold on. Is that not true though? Well, we gonna keep it up. I'm in America here. He is biracial, isn't he? Doesn't he come out the womb of a European woman?
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that some people try to play games acting like he's not just a black man; he's biracial, he's mixed race. But when it's Fard Muhammad is mixed race, he's biracial, it's all good. So it's just some games that some of them try to play. Other people will say, well, yeah, he was a president, but he's not really running the country. He's not really ruling the country. It's the Illuminati, the corporations, they will say different things. But the fact of the matter is that that was not correct. Just like his prediction of the end of the rule of white people, which was supposed to be, was it supposed to be some date around, 1914? No, sorry. What was it again? I have documented that. I can look for
You
it.
got
Actually.
everything documented.
Yeah, I can look for it.
But that's good. That's a good practice because people will switch up and say that they didn't say something one day.
Yes.
When it's convenient. So it's
There
good
is
to get. And see, let me say, Shaka, that's why I went on to Wujahu's show, to get them on record, not necessarily for me, but for you guys who are linguists that can actually go in like Netter Neb did and clarify if what their statements are true or not. And I think that was a great thing that happened because I got clarity on it, and I had been trying to get clarity on it for maybe 4 or 5 years now. So based on what happened, I'm pretty clear on what side I stand on today.
Yeah, and you did good once again. When I was talking with Ned and Neb, Ned and Neb actually thought that you were the one showing the books.
Yes.
But later on, he realized it wasn't you. So, he retracted some of his statements. And even myself, when I saw the video first, I thought the one talking was the one holding the books, but then I wouldn't see the lips moving, and I was like, maybe there's some delay with the internet connection. But then I realized, no, it's not him, because I could see the basically the symbol that shows that the sound is coming from the avatar. And what I missed, however, is when you told the pseudo number one, it's not like he guessed it and he said yes he did. I missed that one. I just remember when he was saying, yeah, the wall of words that he used, I'm saying, it hasn't been verified by wall of speakers. I spoke to that guy from Senegal. He said that he went to the countryside.
Yeah, he just
Wasn't,
rambled on and rambled.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He tried to lull me to sleep.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they're
Yeah,
long-winded.
I was
you know?
like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, what does this got to do? You know what I'm saying? But
That's
I
the
just
number-
let him continue on, right? You know?
That's the number one technique. You're just talking forever, and then you don't. I mean, they haven't changed. You know.
Okay, but hold on. Let me ask you this, So how is it that if you watch Netaneb, you or Smash do a video addressing their claims, and when you see it done in such a manner, how come they just can't concede and say, "Man, we was wrong"?
It's ego. It's ego.
Because okay, I know you've seen the they had 4 cows on a glyph. Have you seen that video? Someone did. I think it was Netaneb.
Yes, yeah.
And then it just had the
Smash
one.
showed it as well. Yes.
Yes, it just had the one word besides each cow
Yeah.
that was the color to determine it. I mean, I don't know how you say that.
Not determinative, but just the glyph for the color.
Yeah,
if I
okay.
remember
So
correctly,
Emmy
yeah.
Cat, which I don't know what's wrong with her. I'm wondering, does she watch other people's videos to be able to maybe just jump ship on them?
I don't think she does, but for her it's a bit different because I kind of heard that she's in a relationship with one of the guys, so you can only expect her to roll with her dude. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, but if you're watching the videos, like what Smash did, where they showed the cows and then the glyphs, and then she said something to me like, "There's no," or even though it was a SAR that said, "There's nowhere where you're going to see this at." And then they just went up and just showed you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So okay, now he said that there's nowhere you're going to see it, and then they show you that it is. Doesn't he have to concede right there?
Well, they'll probably say those are not humans. I mean, they'll say anything, but they and that's one way. I wish our people will realize. When you have some people who just don't admit that they were wrong about something, be careful of them because those people, they will go at great length just to hide a mistake.
Okay,
and it doesn't kill to say I was wrong. Scholars do that. PhDs can say, I was wrong about that. But those guys, they're just never wrong. Everybody else is wrong. And I've never seen people who are so disingenuous and so arrogant because, as we know, they invalidate the experts, especially the PhDs. They have this, appealing to authority talking point. And, even the dictionaries now, we're supposed to dab dictionaries. I mean, it's just crazy and out of hands. But the thing is that, the reason why they want to get away from Cam meaning black as a color is because they have this argument that Kemet means riparian country. So they need for Cam not to mean black. Or if it is translated the black, then it doesn't have anything to do with the color. It has some other meaning. That's why they talk that title stuff, And as you probably seen, it took 3 hours, waiting for the demonstration of
and that's what
Cam
I was
being the
asking for.
title, and then we didn't see anything. You know what I'm
I
saying?
asked them for that. So check this out. Okay, now they're real a stickler on this Pepe the Black. They're saying that you can't add man onto the back of it, right? Watch this. Hold up. So could you show me the glyph where it says riparian? Can you do that? I asked them to do this.
This is their argument. So sometimes they will talk about our tribes. I mean, whoever will follow them, they will have you dancing all around the world. That's what they will do, And you see, my people understand this. How many PhDs agree with them?
Right.
How many PhDs agree with them? When I spoke to the pseudo number 2, he was like, yeah, we have 10 scholars that agree with us. We don't hear one name. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
yeah, you asked for where is the list of them?
And the thing is that, at this point, if we have 2 guys and they know it all over all the PhDs in the world, I mean, those guys are just geniuses. You know what I'm saying? But if they are geniuses, they should be acknowledged by the experts, by the specialists, by the PhDs. They should say, well, I read this work, it's some good work and stuff like that. All they do is just invalidate everybody. Their claims are the only claims that matter. And at some point, You mean to tell me all those guys who studies all the way to PhDs for years doing digging, learning the language, learning the culture, learning foreign languages as well besides the Medu Neter? Many times, you know, Hebrew, Arabic, French, German, Italian for some. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, I only heard them speaking English in my whole life. You know,
See, this is when I
like
left
you
the
know, I'm
show.
sorry. You know, he asked you, do you speak French? Do you read French? You know what I'm saying? Does he read French?
See, I didn't ask him that.
Does he read French? I mean,
I
he
don't know.
probably uses some Google Translate and stuff like that, you know. I mean,
Mhm.
I never heard those guys speaking any other language in my life.
But
But
they,
the
but they
PhDs,
attack me because I don't know the language. See, you don't understand what happened. See, I've been asking the question that you guys have been asking in the chat for about a week. So they was already pissed off at me, right? so they set that show up. They said we're gonna come back 3 hours from now and we're gonna let y'all call in. And see, they didn't think I was gonna show up, right? So bam, I showed up. And if you look at how it happened, it was just Wujao by itself at first. When I showed up, then Emicat, everybody shows up because they were coming to attack me.
yeah,
Because I don't know the language and they're superior to me. But they don't understand that I know everything besides the language. So when I'm asking them these questions, I'm just parroting the questions that you met and the stuff that Met and Neb have done that made sense to me. And I'm asking them to counter this with the same. I said, man, you could just pull up their videos and show us why they're wrong. You know, like we can't understand it because we can't read the language. So I was just hitting them with simplistic things that maybe people, just lay people, make it help us move along with the conversation. Like I even asked them, okay, well, how do you get your view to be the standard? Peer review, if peer review is no, well, okay, well, what other thing do we go to if peer review is not? How do you get the the riparian land to be the standard now? Tell me how you do that. They had no answers for anything that I asked. It was crazy.
it is crazy. And one of the last live stream, I saw that Ned and Ned was on their chat, and at one point, the pseudo number one, the fake linguist, he put the comment of Ned and Neb on the screen, and he said, you know, I'm not addressing you because you don't have comprehension. You know, you have comprehension, and they love to say that. Whenever you don't agree with them, you don't understand. You have comprehension issues, and it's so good if he doesn't want to engage him. But you know, just like they have the right to make their claims, people have the right to make to give their input about it. You know what I'm saying? And he actually basically saying that Diop did not do the comparison, and Netherlands went at great length of that. And I think this evening he has a live stream scheduled to demonstrate, to show that Diop did not do the comparison between the wall
Who
of.
you talking? Hold on, you saying Asar dude? You said Asar is doing a video that said that Diop didn't do the comparative on the
He has a live stream coming up. You know,
hold on, Asar. How is he going to do that when the Met and Neb already showed us that he did?
Because I mean, those guys they don't have any. Their pseudoism is endless. And it's been going on for 10 years. I mean, this is the same guy who said that Allah is in the Egyptian text. And apparently, now I haven't heard it from the horse's mouth, but apparently he's saying that the Garden of Eden is cognate with the word Kemet. You know?
Right.
So that I would love people to direct me to the place where I can hear it from the horse's mouth, you know? It's the same guy who used to say there were Hebrews in Kemet and those Hebrews were black. He used to say that Hebrews were the happy rule. I mean, if people knew the amount of stuff that this guy said, so now Diop didn't do the work. Diop was wrong. And that's why, you know, Smash Rockwell, I did play the video a while back. He said, are you a linguist? You know, everybody's wrong. Reketi Amen, Dr. Diop, Dr. Theophado Benga, you know. Now, he said that Reketi Amen is wrong as well. You heard it.
Yeah, I asked him. That's when I left.
Yeah, exactly. And you did very good. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Reketi Amen, she studied. I heard once that she did a Medu Neter or hieroglyphic program, but from what I read, apparently it was just Egyptology, you know. But she earned her PhD. You know what I'm saying? She
yeah.
You know, it's so sad that we have people, and James P. Allen is wrong as well. Those people earned their PhDs. They did the work, the study, but people who didn't earn no PhD, who are not recognized by the peers, the experts, you know, we heard him say, oh, you know, I'm just going to write, you know, for the academics. Which academic ever even addressed their work? You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just ridiculous. It's just pitiful. You know what I'm saying? And But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's people
Yeah,
just love
I
smooth
just
talk.
want to come on, man, and say I appreciate the work that you guys have done. I think it's cleared up a lot of things within this last week for me myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to get to the bottom of it. If I had to take one for the team, that's what I was going to do to get, because you guys won't go over there and talk to them, and then you know what I'm saying? Like y'all won't
They
even
won't
talk.
even have us on their platform.
Right.
Panel.
You know what I'm saying? It was like it's just going around in circles. So I was just, let me go on here. I know they're not afraid of me. And that's what they really just, like when he asked me, do you know how to do the comparative study on the, and then when I gave him the answer, I was like, well, I watched you and I watched Ned and Neb, and you just making sure that it's cognate with other languages. And then, you know, that's how you do it. You know, it's not really rocket science. You know, I watch what you guys are doing, but they think because I can't read the language that I can't comprehend what I'm seeing you guys do. You know what I'm saying? So this stuff is not that hard. Now, what I wanted to ask, based on what I know, see, this is what I'm saying. If you wanted to learn the language and you watching two factions go at it on a word, you're like, man, well, who should I go with if I want to learn the language? See, they don't understand what this is done to the community.
Well, they don't understand, but they don't care. They don't care. And I think in a way they love the attention that this is causing, because, you know, there's a saying that says there's no such thing as bad publicity, you see.
Right.
And I think the furthest that they went with being so bold is when they went to that panel, I think it was ASCAC, and they made their presentation about their hypothesis. And ultimately, Dr. Mario Beatty, another PhD, stated his piece, you know what I'm saying, and explained why he disagreed with them. I think that's the furthest they ever went with their claims. The rest will be them releasing their books, which are not pre-reviewed, and that's about it, you know what I'm saying? Because there's even that audio that, you know, I was asked to remove of Dr. Obadele Kambo, another PhD, and he was discussing with pseudo number one, and pseudo number one was basically arguing with him, trying to tell him how to do his job, you know, even saying, you know, has the tweet been reconstructed? And, you know, Dr. Kambo told him, you know, that doesn't make any sense.
Like,
how would you reconstruct a living language, you know? So, and
he was like, he was like, Diop, you know, he went and found a couple of people. You know what I'm saying? He minimalized the man's work so disrespectfully. Like with the Wolof language, I don't even know if that's really, and we haven't found that those are words of cognizance with the I was like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
and did you go, like somebody said, did you go over there and go try to find out yourself? Or where did you
didn't.
go?
I mean, it's just some talking points. I mean,
it was just like this lull you to sleep.
There's this book called Nationale et Culture. Nationale et Culture, I think it was released around, I don't want to say a mistake, but I think it was before the symposium. It was probably maybe 1954. Because if I look for the date, they might show the re-edition, but ultimately when it was first released, Nationale Culture, let me look for it. I want to see the date when it was released. What was the date? It was before the symposium, before the book about the relationship between Middle Nature and African languages. Well, I will go for on this page. Probably put the release date. So I'll put the French way, and I'll put Nation. '79. I was way off. Okay, I was way off. Let me put the English page. I did not have it there. Nation Nègre. Because in that book, Nationale et Culture, you have a shorter version in English, which is African Origin of Civilization. Yes, 1954. This is the edition, and that's what I thought. This is the edition called Présence africaine. What was the date?
Yeah, you done went into French on me. I'm like, what is he saying? I know you said African, but what was the first word?
Présence, it means basically presence. It's just a French way to pronounce it. This is a publisher, Présence africaine. Why is the date not showing there on the? Hold on. I just wanted to show to the people. If I put author, there it is. So I will show it to the people. Well, I will share the link anyway. First, I'm going to share the link so everybody can get it. So, Diop's his most famous work, Nation, Nègre et Culture. I put translated in a shorter version as African origin of civilization, myth or reality. Here's the link to the that link is too long. I will just go there. Hopefully, okay.
You talking about this book right here?
Yes, exactly. This is a shortest version.
A shorter version of this book?
Of the French one called Nation, Nègre et Culture. And hold on. Now, before I actually change the screen, for the record here, this is Elijah Muhammad talking about the time was up in 1914. You see? Then later on, he said that, there will be an extension of time, something likely to be 60 years, but not beyond 70 years. And if we make the calculation, 1914 plus 70, we see that we are far beyond that time, So, and I even made the calculation because Elijah Muhammad died in 1975. Assuming that he said that on his last day, you add 10 years, you get 1985. But that's just for the record. So here I'm going to share so people can see that the book I'm talking about was released in 1954. Now, here it is. Now, if you go there, here you have a summary. Here you have about the author, and here's just, how do you call commentary, basically. Commentary. The word escapes me. Like on Amazon, when you buy a product and you just describe or talk about the product, that's the
the description.
Yeah, not the description, like from the buyers. When they say they like it.
Okay.
Yes, just
the comment.
Yeah, there might be another more appropriate word, but it just escapes me. But here, I might have to make it larger. But it says here, his thesis, because for those who don't know, he earned his PhD, had a big echo in the form of a book called Nation, Nègre et Culture, which means Negro Nations and Culture, published in 1954. In 1954, in that book, Nation, Nègre et Culture, we have the comparison between Wolof and the Mendo Netja already in 1954. But if you hear pseudo number one, it talks about 1977 and different dates. But even 20 years before, he already made the comparison.
Right.
So I hear what he's saying, and to me it's laughable. And I'm like, I had enough of this dude. You know what I'm saying? It's just a shame that people just follow someone like that. Now basically anybody from the corner, anybody can just come and speak anything about any subject. And if you bring up some specialists, they will tell you your opinion to authority. How did he come to that conclusion? You know, how do you know they're right? These wild questions that they come up with, and it's just beautiful. There's no more standard. You know,
Yeah,
there's no
well,
more.
thanks, like I said, thanks to guys like you and Netta Neb. Netta Neb is and a cat. They've made sure that peer review is going to be the standard. I think that we need to make because see, a lot of our people don't even know about peer review. I think that you guys need to make sure that we know that that's the standard, and especially dealing with this the language and stuff like that. I mean, you wouldn't want a heart surgeon that didn't read a peer review paper, or do your heart surgery. You know what I mean? He's a mechanic, but he's doing heart surgery. Like, you don't want that. So you
It's
want
true.
someone that's expert in whatever field that you're dealing with. Not appealing to authority is basically. I understand what they're saying, that you can have bias. You can have bias in anything, but the consensus is what you're looking for. And they don't think that we intelligent enough to go with the consensus, right? They think we're going to go with the abstract, what's abnormal. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that it was disrespectful, but I did. I just wanted to come in, man, and thank you, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and just let you finish off your show. I may come back on another time or something like that. But I was glad that I refound you. Let me ask you: did you just restart this channel, or you just changed the name?
Yeah, I had to restart it in 2016 because the account before that was called History. No, sorry, it was called Egypt Decoded.
Right.
And in 2016, it was flagged off, so I lost it. Before that, it was History Not Mystery, and before that, it was Afro Styly. First just the way it's spelled there,
Yeah,
which is my
down at the bottom.
website. Then it was with 2 Y's, then with 3 Y's, then starting with the I, like iPhone, Afro Styly, and then I just had accounts flagged many times.
Okay,
And
then what was the reasoning for the flags? I mean,
well,
you don't use bad language.
well, it's mainly Pan Africans and Asiatic black men who flag my accounts. And unfortunately, back then, when you have so many people flagging your account, at one point, YouTube will be like, we're tired of this, and then that's it. Sometimes, the account, like the last one that I had, Egypt Decoded, it was terminated. I appealed, they put it back. Then it was terminated again. I appealed, they put it back. Then it was terminated again. I appealed, they didn't put it back. Simple as that.
Okay, well, what was the violation? Like, what did you do?
There was not really a violation, but those people just flag and
Wow.
I don't know what, but I mean, I don't know exactly what they say.
And like guys like you and Seti, y'all would be millionaires if y'all old videos were still up. Because back then monetization wasn't going on back then, was it?
No, not yet. When we started, there was no monetization. I think
Right.
it came around. Well, I couldn't say exactly when it came around, but I'm not sure there was any in 2008. Maybe it came
right.
around 2009, 2010. But yeah, we would have made good money back then. I mean, back then I used to earn more than now. Like 2000. Yeah, 6 years ago, I used to earn more money on YouTube than now.
Really?
And I had less subscribers. I had when they terminated my account, I had 9,000 subscribers. Now
Wow.
I actually have 19,000 subscribers. In a few days, I will reach 20,000 subscribers.
Right.
So back then when I would upload a video, minutes later it will have hundreds of views. So a lot of people don't know that I lost my account. And sometimes I'll do a live stream that, hey, I used to, just like you said, I used to follow you like, back in 08, back in 2010 and stuff like that. So that's it comes with the territory, I guess. But I think this account will be here to stay because there's less, it's not like,
you know what it is? It's more flooded now. So they can't get everybody. Like back then, you were like, they could pick you out of anywhere because you're like a needle in a haystack now, is what I'm saying. Back then, you were it wasn't no haystack. We could see you and they would flag you, but now there's so many people doing same type of commentary, they can't get everybody now because they was taking Seti's channel down once a month almost.
Yeah, I remember. And just with what you said, for example, that video of Farrakhan talking about we are marked, we are disfigured. When I put it online, the final call made a copyright claim. But because so many people saw that video and they were shocked. Back then, the video had 1,000 views a day. So after 4 days, 4,000 views, they were like, no, we have to get this off the internet. But what people did is that they re-uploaded the video, and they re-uploaded it so much that, they figured, there's no point in just making a copyright claim all the time. People are still going to put it back up because it was being shared on message boards and everywhere. People are like, has he lost his mind? You know what I'm saying? But they failed to understand that what Farrakhan said is the ideology, is the doctrine of the Nation of Islam. And Elijah Muhammad talked about this. And even Malcolm X talked about this, but not the same way, not using the same words, but that's their doctrine, you see.
You know what my hypothesis on this whole thing from American standpoint? I know you in France, but okay, as people that was not allowed to read literature for hundreds, maybe a couple of 100 years or so, once they reintroduced us back in the text, they reintroduced us back with the Black Bible or the Bible, so to speak, reindoctrinating us into that particular hit ideology, so to speak. So once we gained our freedom, it seems like that we started to search for our history, and the next thing that we ran upon as a people was Islam, and we thought that was okay. Well, if this ain't it, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think the whole time that this is going on, Europeans are just sitting back laughing because they know this history. They know where we come from. So they didn't really have an opposition to us adapting that because they knew it was the wrong history anyway. See what I'm saying? This is how you reconstruct the history once you find out the truth. So this is just me simplifying, and that's what I asked everybody to do, try to simplify so people can understand this in a simplistic way, because our people are straight up in ignorance, whether it be America. I don't know about how they teach in France. They're just teaching French history, right? They're not teaching African history there, right?
Well, they teach us in the French history. And the funny thing is that in those former colonized countries, it might have changed now, but they used to teach, our ancestors from Gaul, basically from France, the former name of France. And so they used to teach that to Black African kids in Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because when teach history, that's the first thing they teach us. Our ancestors. In French, we say les Gaulois. The Gallic people.
Okay, so I have an elder brother that's from Ivory Coast. It's a French-speaking country. So we have conversations. He's here in America. So I'm inquisitive about what happened. He's 60-something. So he tells me the things that I don't know. So he let me know that they teach French history in Africa. And I was just shocked and appalled. But then I had to think about it because here in America, they teach American history. They don't teach us our history. It's incumbent on us to teach our history. No, and that's what a lot of us get late. Like we'll go through their school system for 18 years. And then when we come out, we're thinking that we have to re-educate ourselves. And sometimes it takes us to get to 38 before the light bulb even comes on. By that time, it's almost over. Yeah, see, but we need to be teaching this from the inception so that we won't have to reteach this later on. So that's what I want to say.
It's true, and it's normal that they teach American history in America, but for them to teach French history in Africa, that's
it was shocking.
But do you know that I'm giving Mennonite classes?
Yeah, I just found that out. Now you were a Mennonite, you were teaching that back then. But back then, see, this is how early it was. I didn't even know if you was reading, you know what I'm saying? If you could, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't know if I'm interested. Is that true? What would be the benefit of me learning that? You know what I'm saying? So all of this type of stuff that we were dealing with back in 2008. But I knew that you could read the language. I used to watch you go to the museums, and you would always do the artifacts. So I've been aware of you, brother. I'm telling you, for over a decade.
All right. Yeah. So, feel free to tell people, if you know some people who want to learn it, feel free to let them know, because what I've been trying to do for a few weeks now is to have enough people for a group, because I have the people that I'm teaching, one-on-one, and they've been actually taking the classes for a while now. They're quite advanced now, and meaning that they can basically read from artifacts in museums. But it's best for me at this point now to have groups. So I have some people who actually contacted me and they said they are down, they are ready. And I told them when I have enough people, I get back to you. So idealistically, I would like to have at least 10 people. So this way, You always have a few people who, after the first class, they feel like, okay, it's too heavy for me. So even if maybe 5 people leave, then at least I have 5 remaining, you know. So that's really my goal, you know, to have at least 10 people. And it's a shame because every time I hear people want to learn it, want to learn it, want to learn it, and I'm like, you know, I only want 10 people, you know, but I don't have that group of 10 people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me see if you could lay out an argument. Okay, what is the benefits of learning the language, and why do you think our people should learn the language?
Well, and Diop said that. Diop said that Kemet, or ancient Egypt, is to Africa what Greece and Rome is to the Western world.
Right.
It's the classical civilization. And we can see correlation between the Medu Neter and different African languages. That language was used in an empire that lasted for at least 3,000 years. When it comes to the dynastic period, we're not even talking about the pre-dynastic period. And the things that have amazed the world the most, many comes from Kemet. Just the 3 pyramids alone. Now, I know Brother Reggie says that the kings who built the pyramids, they were crazy, but that's on him. You know, I don't feel the same way. You know, that amazes the world. The preciseness, you know, the expertise and skill in building. You know, if we're talking about a miracle, you know what I'm saying? If we want to go that far, that's a living, standing, tangible miracle. Nobody knows how it was built, and I doubt people can reproduce it. A lot of people will say, well, there's no point reproducing something like that. You know, it takes so much effort, so much technology and stuff like that. What would be the point? Okay, I get it, but people still don't know how it was built. And that's just for the pyramid alone. I mean, we have the unfinished obelisk. It's just huge. How did they manage to get a piece like that and cut it so precisely? You know, so the knowledge in science, in medicine, that still amazes the world to this day. And when we talk about literacy, you know, I have to share this again. Now, you've probably seen it before, but a lot of people don't know. When we talk about language literacy, you know, where is it? There. When we talk about language itself, we owe it to the Medu Neter. We owe it to Africa, and a lot of people just don't know that. You see that? You've seen that one before, right?
Right.
That one is in Anthony Browder's book, Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization. Because a lot of people will say that we get the alphabet from the Phoenicians. A lot of people will tell you that alphabet derives from Aleph Bet. So Aleph, that's the sound R in Hebrew and also in Arabic, you know. And the Bet, that derives from the beta. Beta in Greek, and in Hebrew / Arabic is Bait, because in Hebrew is Bet, like Bet El, house of God. Bet means house, El means God, and in Arabic is Bayit, so Bait. So it's pronounced almost the same, you see. But ultimately, that there are some from some Medu Neter symbol here, and even, you know, for those who like, here's this is an addition that I've made here. So this is page 170 to 171 of the book Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization, and let me share the link so people can see it.
I wonder
Alphabet deriving from the Medu Neter.
I think I got that book. I'm trying to think. I know I got to ask.
It's a nice book. It's a nice book. Yeah. And here you have another book taken from Stephen Roger Fisher book called A History of Writing, page 48. And this is what he wrote. This is a white dude, a white PhD. Now, well, I presume he's a PhD.
What does that say? The Metric script, or what is that saying?
Well, on Wikipedia, that's what it says. I couldn't find, you know, I don't like to use Wikipedia, but for his credential, that's the only page that I saw, you know, with a good summary. So he is a New Zealand linguist, so he's still alive. He's a former director of the Institute of Polynesian Language and Literatures in Auckland, New Zealand. He's the author of more than 150 books and articles on linguistics, many of which are commonly cited. For his contribution to the decipherment of ancient scripts, Fisher was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society of New Zealand. Now, this is what he wrote on his book. Egyptian writing influenced the Meroitic script of Meroe in Sudan, dating from circa 250 BC, and also supplied the forms for the earliest identified consonantal alphabet, circa 2200 BC, that generated the various Semitic proto-alphabets of the Sinai and Levant. The latter became in time the Latin alphabet we use today. The world's depth to the Nile is immense. It is no coincidence that our method of writing at the beginning of the third millennium AD is not too different from that of Egyptian scribes of the third millennium BC. Though the idea of complete writing may have arisen in Sumer, the way we write and even some of our signs, which we call letters, are the ultimate descendants of ancient Egyptian founders. Illustration 28. And this is the illustration 28. You see, it says there, 28 ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs lives on in transmuted fashion in our own alphabet. So here we can see the Egyptian, the ox's head, Proto-Sinaitic ox's head. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, we see it.
I had that series stuff that came up. So Proto-Sinaitic ox's head. The Phoenician had that symbol, and later on the scribes, I guess the writers, when they make it faster, they changed the shape, so it became the early Greek this shape, and which became basically the Latin A, or the A in English. And then here, this is a glyph for Per, which is house, and then we have the Proto-Sinaitic this shape, and then the Phoenician, and then the Greek, and so on. And most people don't know that when we even talking about writing, we actually owe that to the Medu Neter. And people say that history starts with writing, Before,
see what I'm saying? See, this is where we finna.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just gonna interject right here, right? Now, what do you say about this little Sumerian argument, right? Because Europeans try to interject that and try to say that they were writing because it said that, matter of fact, in one of that sentence, they tried to ease that in. I seen that.
Yeah, and I can put it again. This one.
But it's awful funny that they didn't adopt the Sumerian style of writing. You see, I be paying attention. I might can't read and do all this, but I'm listening.
But he said, though the idea of complete writing may have a reason in Sumer, and it's funny when he puts complete writing, because the Medu Neter is very precise, the grammar is very precise,
Right.
But at one point they used to feel like they used to actually teach and write that the Egyptian civilization, the civilization of ancient Egypt, or Kemet, was Mediterranean, with some white dude with black skin and all kind of crazy stuff, red people and stuff like that. And we have some people talking about, red skin and red color, but but that's just for the record. So as they realized, those were black folks, I'm saying. So, let's deal with Sumer. And Sumer is better anyway, because Abraham comes from Chaldea, he comes from Ur, Mesopotamia. So, might as well say, it comes from over there, but that's fine. It doesn't matter too much to me, because we have the chart and we can see, what I'm saying? So when they say, complete form of writing, I'm not sure what they mean, So that's what I would say.
See, like I said, even, this just, okay, like you see the color of my shirt is black, right?
Yeah.
They think that we supposed to color ourselves like this.
Yeah. I mean,
these folks, like, how can we put that looking behind you? How can we put the eyebrows and, how are we going to do that? You see that color behind you? You know what I'm saying? That's Kim. Like, even if do y'all have Miracle Grow soil in France? You know what Miracle Grow is? When you plant a pot of they have this stuff called Miracle Grow. It's a dark soil. It's the best soil you can get to plant a pot with. It's called Miracle Grow here in America. It's Kim. It's the same color. I don't understand why they so literal when it comes down to certain arguments. But if I tell you, hey, sorry, can you go off in the TLA and type in riparian land and see? Hold on, I'm just serious. If I ask you to do that, is the Kim glyph gonna be right there when it pops up? See, that's the question I was trying to ask, but they wouldn't. They don't want to listen to me. They
See-
say I
see-
don't because I don't know the language. I
Yeah,
can't even ask the question.
once again, the riparian country, that's their personal thesis, personal hypothesis. And I'm talking about Kemet, meaning riparian country. Anybody can look up Kemet. I mean, I usually say that I personally translate it as the black. Most people will say it means the black land. Some people will say it means the land of the blacks. But most Egyptologists will say it means the black land. And those are the experts, those are the specialists, the PhDs, you know what I'm saying? So those pseudos, they have their own personal opinion. And that's why now they're sounding like Moors talking about, look on the walls, they're not black. But there are different shades of black, you know what I'm saying? I
So if I
come on
ask
now.
you, is you black right now? What would you tell me,
Yeah,
Asad?
I'll say. I mean, this,
Nah, I'm brown. I'm beige.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
man,
Like,
I mean, they can
this
say
is
what they want,
crazy.
but
I'm
all,
not
all,
black. My hair is black, but when
all,
on my birth certificate it says Negro, black.
all of that is because they want to, um, they're trying to validate their personal hypothesis. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
once again, which PhD agree with their claims? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's as simple as that. But they and really, I agree when people say it's cut-like. I agree. Because for all these years, in the conscious community, what did people used to do to validate their claims? They will quote scholars, they will quote doctors, they will quote PhDs
Mhm.
that will ultimately say some things that will go in the direction of some of their claims. Not all of
Right.
their claims. You will never find PhD to say, everything that the NY teaches is right and exact. Everything that the Moorish Science Temple teaches right and exact. But sometimes you will have some remnants about some particular topics. But now we have a new way now. We have some dudes that, them with the experts, them with the PhDs, they don't do the work. They only quote people. You know what I'm saying? That's appealing to authority. What we're saying is right and everybody else is wrong.
Right.
I
So
mean,
the best
how,
thing that could have happened for us is Asar. I mean, you, Smash really putting his input in, Netaneb, and
Smash did a lot
that's
of good work.
that's the best thing that could have happened for us, that for people that's just on the outside looking in. But
And
brother,
and
Asar,
they're plagiarizing. They plagiarize as well. People
yeah,
don't
and
really
see,
want to
but
talk about that.
I knew when I was on that show, I knew about that. I just didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want to
you
be
did good. You
disrespectful.
were good. They would have kicked you out.
Right. Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
want to be disrespectful, but I already knew about that. You know what I'm saying?
and the guy told you, you don't have any question at this point. You need to be
Right.
quiet, go home and study. I'm like, dang.
I was
Even
like, yeah,
when
let
I
me
asked him
go
the
on.
question, when I asked him the question, he knew what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask him to show us where it means a title. So he was like, yeah, that question don't make any sense, and things went left. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the first time I spoke to the dude, like over 10 years ago, he told me my question, I'm not making any sense, because I was asking him for records for the Hebrews. And I mean, for those who don't know, he used to be a Hebrew Israelite.
Right. Okay.
And
Let
it's
me ask you this:
yeah.
Is he a linguist, or does he actually? Okay, like I would say for you, I would say that you're a meta nature. That's what you specialize in, learning that particular language. Maybe even though you may know French and English as well. But as far as ancient history that you're dealing with, you're just dealing with the. Does he do the same thing as you? Like what I'm asking, does he specialize in the meta nature language, or what is he doing?
Well, he has knowledge of the meta nature, that's for sure. At least he knows the uniliterals, the biliterals, and triliterals. He likes to call himself a linguist, but like he said, he doesn't have any degree in linguistics. He has a
Right.
degree in computer science, and he said that they dealt with linguistics. Now, I'm suspicious about that. Like, what kind of linguistic? Is it the computer languages like PHP, the database, MySQL? Is it the PHP, HTML, JavaScript? Is it that kind of languages? I don't see how people dealing with computer science will learn linguistics. But I mean, he's the same guy who told Dr. Obadele Combo. Dr. Obadele Combo asked him if he studied linguistics formally. And he replied, yes, I have. Then he asked him, did you study at university or with some people? He said at your university. And then Dr. Combo asked him, who did he study under? And he gave some names. So on one hand, he says he studied linguistics formally on the other hand, he says, when I ask him if he has a degree in linguistics, he says he has a degree in computer science, you know. So obviously there's some lie somewhere. But that guy, he's been disingenuous, you know what I'm saying? He's been disingenuous, and it is what it is, you know. So
yeah, let me go ahead. I'm gonna let you close out the show, whatever, man. I appreciate you letting me come on, and I'll be in the chat.
Yeah.
All right,
And
peace,
yeah, thanks for calling in. I appreciate that, brother.
okay.
Yes. So I will go through the chat because there's been many comments. Many comments. So let me go up. Okay, so Topcast wrote, the NY is just a copy of Islam. Not really. The Nation of Islam is not considered orthodox. Very simple example. You will be hard pressed to see Nation of Islam members going to Arabia, particularly in Mecca, and talking about, you know, showing a picture of Muhammad and saying that's Allah. There's very few chances that they will make it back home alive. They might make it back home, but in a coffin, you know. So that alone, you know, is just an example. Now, the NOR is a remnant of the Arab slave trade. Well, I don't know if we can say that. Jason Holmes wrote, Unc M. Ma'at family, Elijah Muhammad did teach that black people in America were from the tribe of Shabazz, but he didn't teach it in relation to Heru. Yeah, that's somebody else's interpretation. James Powell wrote, I think Farad is white. When Elijah Muhammad's wife first saw Farad Muhammad, she thought that he looked like a white man. And when we look at his picture, you know, for those who have never seen his picture, we have some gullible people amongst the black community, you know. There it is. So I don't know if it's a painting. I don't know if it's a picture, but this is Farad Muhammad. And they teach that his father was jet black. I have never seen a biracial or mixed race person whose mother is white and father is jet black, and he comes out like this. Besides, there's another picture that less people are familiar with, and it's that one there. I cannot make it even larger, but that's the one on the left. You know, that's when he was actually arrested. And there he's with two police officers. So, Topcast wrote, the NOI is also a failed attempt at black folks attempting to fight racism. Let me get something to drink. I'll be right back. If somebody wants to get on the panel, then feel free. You know, I have a little bit of time, and if there's no participation, when I finish reading the comments, then I will cut it a day. You know what I'm saying? So let me just get something to drink. I'll be right back.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. Go ahead.
Brothers and sisters, guess who we have who's trying to get on the panel? Our brother who never wants to show his face. Brother, you've been dissing me many times. I didn't pay no mind. You made some shows. You mentioned me. I didn't pay no mind. Everybody is welcome on this platform. All you need to do is to show your face, brother. If you have views and you own up to them, why don't you show your face, brother? Just show your face. Be a man. You're stepping in an arena of men. Malcolm didn't hide his face. Martin didn't hide his face. He sent me a private message. We don't need a face to speak. All right, then. Here we need a face to speak. That's the way it is here. So suit yourself, brother. But it's been a long time I didn't hear from you. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're not hating on Africans like other peoples do. Topcast wrote, both Islam and Christianity have been disastrous for black people. Now, our brother wrote, and I'm not saying his name, I don't want to give free advertisement. He can make his own advertisement if he shows his face. He wrote, I get it. You are scared. It's understandable. Apparently, I am scared, brothers and sisters. But I'm the one who show my face. I'm the one who own up to my ideology. This is a brother who says that, we are descendant of, we are indigenous to America. Okay, he sent me some more private message, but I'm not going to spend the whole evening reading his private messages. So, where was I? And fear, brothers and sisters, I would really like to hear from you. You see, the brother has been following me for a decade, and it's the first time we speak. It's the first time we spoke. You know what I'm saying? And I would really love to hear from you. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, sisters. We don't really have sisters, but it's understandable, you see how brothers behave with an extremely crazy ego. Topcast wrote, black folks do not understand that they have been under attack for at least the past 1600 years. Topcast added, the beauty of the digital age is your words are saved forever. Law. Well, yeah, more or less. James Powell agreed, and he said it seems like a cult over there. Yeah, some people are really cult-like. You cannot even disagree with their gurus. But we never used to have that before. We never used to have some people coming up and saying things that nobody else thought, going against the consensus of scholars in a particular field. It's really new, and now they're trying to make it fashionable. We hear more and more people saying, we're appealing to authority. Come on. Now, Nurture for Wellness is asking, who is they? Which video would I share? Well, I will share the video that sparked the whole thing, and it was on Smash Rockwell's channel, and I have the link. I have the link in the description. It's the first link. Well, here we have their names. So well, never mind. Their names in the title of the video, but they have a unique name now. It's Magic Medu Nature dudes. So cult like brothers. There it is. I'll share the link. It says cult like brothers. Topcast asked if James have a channel, and I actually shared the channel earlier. And Topcast is saying, sounds like they here to hustle other black people. Well, they are at the same time hustling, indeed, but they could hustle better. It doesn't care to say, well, it's a hypothesis, it's not an absolute fact, it's not necessarily a fact, it's not established, it's not accepted by fellow scholars, it's not accepted by the consensus. It doesn't care to say I was wrong. I thought that my thesis, my hypothesis, has some validity, but it seems like it's not the case. I mean, there's so many things that you could write about or argue about, but it's ego. They wrote a book about it, and it will be difficult for them to just say that they're not correct, and he doesn't care at all, who never made mistakes. But once again, the ego, you just listen to those guys, and they are just full of themselves on such a high horse, what I'm saying? Now, Topcast said that he's looking at two of Diop's book. He has that book by Diop. He has Civilization of Barbarism also. You have the English version or the French versions? Pre-colonial Black Africa too. And then he also asked me if Ned Never has a channel, and I did share the channel. Now, Nutri for Wellness was asking where the conversation with Asar James is talking about. Well, I will share that one. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I mean, every time they speak, you always have something funny, man. So, actually, I will put the full title as well. So, the full title is Reketi Amin is wrong. Same for Shekonta Diop and James P. Allen, according to Magic Medu Nature pseudos. Let me continue scrolling through the comments. I would prefer that somebody gets on the panel, you know. Black people are brown in terms of skin coloration. The Moors worked for Xerxes. Lord. The Hebrews have no records. They can only go back to the Greeks in Alexandria. If people have records of the Hebrews, then please share them with us. Did Hebrews exist in history? How were they called? How did they call themselves? Same with Christianity. How would East Asia end up being Africa geographically? I mean, you know, sometimes, brothers and sisters, you kind of ask yourself questions that in the first place you don't even need to ask. You know, like if you follow these Asiatic movements and these magic metal nature pseudos, you know, deal with science primarily. It's best, it's better, you know. Now, Topcast asked, said, Shaka, I think I might have a video or two of yours I downloaded when you had the Egypt Decoded channel. All right, yeah. Well, actually, the majority of the videos that were on Egypt Decoded are now on this channel, but there's a few that I did not re-upload. Nutri for Wellness wrote Asar live now addressing the non-believers. Yeah, you know what I mean. As long as they have groupies, then they will be allowed, they will be capable, they will be able to keep on teaching their pseudoism. You know what I'm saying? You know. So Topcast said that he has the books in English. He cannot read French, though he has a French dictionary. Yes, I get it. No problem. Now you see the brother, and I don't want to say his name, but people who've been following the last room for a while, they will know who he is. He has a YouTube channel and he never shows his face and he claims all sorts of things. And he wrote, "Now my people, you are not my people. If I'm not your people, why do you call in? I mean, people who disagree with me can't call in. But before you used to address me as brother, didn't you? But now I am not your people." And then he added, "I'll see you on Moorish World TV, if you dare." Well, for the record, you know, I went on Moorish World TV after Tahaka just came and hollered on my channel. And as soon as I showed the standard of war that I have shared many times, Tahaka been studying like, hey, how do you know is that color? I don't see that as a physical description, you know, I don't see that. I'm paraphrasing, but, you know, I don't really see that, you know, I'm showing how they look like, and I'm not convinced. Just with the standard of war, he didn't even bother to look at the video called White Semites Black Awakening. And with his reasoning, Tahaka Bey ended up saying that Saddam Hussein was melanated and Osama bin Laden was melanated. So you can understand, brothers and sisters, why he did not invite me again, like he said he would, so I can talk about the Medu Neter. You know, it's a bit embarrassing when you go live on air and say that Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden are melanated. And for the record, I've uploaded a video and I quoted the NHS National Health Services of the United Kingdom, and I quoted also some other website. White people have melanin, so white people are melanated as well. That melanated stuff is just, you know, don't hold any weight at all. You know, it's just a talking point. You know. Now we have the brother again, but I don't see any face, so I will not put you on the panel. You know, I will not put you on the panel. You know. Before I used to, you know, let him talk a little bit, but, you know, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, be a man and show your face, and you can holler at any time. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you can use the chat. Why don't you use the chat, brother? And he sent me another private message, but I don't want to look at it. So, yeah, that's most likely the reason why. You see, Nutri for Wellness wrote exactly everyone has melanin. Even albinos have melanin. Some might not have any, but even albinos have melanin. So all white people have melanin. So people tell you, oh, you're melanated. You know, I don't mean anything at all. It doesn't mean anything at all. You know, the Caucasians, the Russians, they are melanated, you know. But we just want to remove ourselves from Africa so much that, you know, we have these talking points. My melanated people. But there's a drawing of Drew Ali. It's a representation of Drew Ali holding a woman, and the woman looks white. So maybe that's a clue. Maybe that's a clue. You know, I have 3 private messages, but, you know, rather, you know, you can just show your face. So does anybody want to get on the panel, on the platform? Does anybody want to learn the Medu Neter? Does anybody have any question? You can use the chat or you can get on the panel. I'd rather you get on the panel. And as long as you show your face, and it's all good, you know. Even if you disagree with me, it's all good. There won't be no rah-rah stuff. You know, for years, you know, a lot of people would disagree, and as long as they were respectful, there was no rah-rah stuff. And if they happen not to be respectful, then, you know, they will be out. But usually when they get there and they show their face, they're not really disrespectful. Usually people are disrespectful in the chat, you know, because it's just easier, you know. But even if you disagree with me, you know, you are welcome. We can talk about it like civilized, man. You know. Now, Topcast wrote the Moors haven't won anything since the 1400s. Yeah, but the Moors have temples. The Moors are more or less organized, and I'm talking about the temple Moors. We have many Moors who are not temple Moors, but they still, you know, do their thing. But Kemetic people, you know, I mean, not only we're a minority, but, you know, we're not organized as we should be. We have Kemetic people who accept anti-Black and anti-African teaching. We have Kemetic people who are fence riding. We have Kemetic people who dis-Kemetic people. You know what I'm saying? So the MSTA, Moorish Science Temple of America, was established before the NOI. Some people said Fard Muhammad was a member of the MSTA. I don't know if it's true or not. Of course, the NOI would say no. But they were even established before, what's the name? See, the brother who doesn't want to show his face, he has a video playing instead of, you know, his face. You know what I'm saying? It's a black and white video, and we see some white people. So, and the Moorish Science Temple of America was even established before the UNIA, Marcus Garvey's organization. And Marcus Garvey's organization, you know, did way better in terms of membership, in terms of businesses, you know, and influence around the world. But still, the MSCA was established before. Now, because it was established before doesn't mean it's better, but it's just for the record. So they've been here for a long time, you know, and many of them, you know, try to specialize in law, with the law. Many of them are actually skilled with the law. You know, they really study it. But law is not history. So when they start teaching about history, they're just all over the place, you know. So non-Abrahamic people or Kemetic people, we have to organize. And I guess if people claim to be Kemetic, it will be good for them to learn the language. Many Hebrew Israelites learn the Hebrew. They want to get closer and deeper in the culture. And as a matter of fact, it reminds me of something that I wanted to touch on. Me being in Europe, I was once in contact with the French-speaking Pan-Africans, and many of them claim to be Kemetic, but many of them used to just drink, smoke, steal, lie. Some of them used to rape. Some of them didn't rape themselves, but they defended rapists and pedophiles. And I suspect that some of them have actually raped, but they just never got caught for it because some of them went publicly defending rapists and pedophiles as long as they are black people. And then once they become allegedly Kemetic, they do the same thing. So there's no difference. A lot of people claim to be Kemetic just to look good, just to act like they are down for the cause. You know, I have some so-called Kemetic people that stole from me. Computer was stolen from me. A projector, I'm not sure if you call it that way in English, but basically you connect the computer to that device and it just, you know, puts whatever you're presenting on computer on the screen, or a board, a blackboard or whiteboard, or you know, on the wall. So those two things were stolen from me. You have some so-called elders here in France, you know. I mean, I could talk about some of them. They never said anything. There's no community, it's just reckless. And for years they have defended, you know, some pedophiles and rapists. You know what I'm saying? So we need some standards, you know. We need some morality. If we know that someone stole from somebody, we should address it. Hey, you make it right with that brother, or you get the hell out of here. You don't roll with us. That's how it should be. While criticizing Europeans for doing stuff, and then black people do the same thing and we don't criticize them. I have 6 private messages. Brother, it's simple. Just show your face. I'm not reading your private messages. I know they come from you. It's pointless. But, you know, if you want to exercise your Twitter fingers, then go ahead. Be my guest, you know. There's no morals, no morality. You know, and I've said it many times, that only God can judge me, brothers and sisters. I don't like that. See, when they are into the Abrahamic belief system, they are on their P's and Q's. They act right. They act correctly. They're not dissing their belief system, but when they claim to be Kemetic, it's like anything goes. Come on now. So Kwanzaa is celebrated every Christmas period. And it's a fraud. Topcast wrote, eumelanin versus pheomelanin, very different. All people eat apples, but some are red and some are green. James Powell wrote, Shaka, there's much negative talk about Marcus Garvey and he's being for real to black Americans. What do you know about this? Well, I don't know what the negative talk is. I guess the most negative stuff that I heard about Marcus Garvey is that he was a Mason. Elijah Muhammad was once a Mason. He said it. We have the audio. So, of course, we have some brothers who know everything about secret societies, Illuminatis, Masons. So they feel like, you know, the Masons run the world and they have some secret agendas and so on. But there was a time where Freemasonry was very popular, including amongst black folks, you know, with the Prince Hall Lodge or whatever it's called, Prince Hall Masonry, you know, because the Masons would not accept black people back then. I think it's the same with is it the baseball league or basketball league? They had some Negro leagues. But, well, with university, you know, the historically HSBU, historically black university, you know. So they didn't even want black folks in Freemasonry. So they came up with their own lodge. Now I'm sure, you know, they will gladly accept black folks there because, you know, there's less enthusiasms, less fascination. HBCU. Thank you for correcting me. I said HSBU, didn't I? Some people might crucify me now. HBSC, historically black. What the C stand for? HBC. It's historically black colleges and universities. So they were established before the civil rights. What is this? BGLOS? I didn't know that term. BGLOS. Oh, Black Greek Letter Organization. Okay. Well, actually, amongst the conscious community, we have some people who belong to those fraternities, Greek fraternities, and they still have a bound because of the pledges that they made. Actually, the pseudo-linguist, he talked about his initiation where he bended over and was smacked in the bum with a paddle. You know what I'm saying? But he's not the only one who did that. Other people did that thing, so it's not exclusive to him, you know. But it's just funny when I heard it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, because when he was asked, you know, so did you bend over and you held your ankle and you got smacked in the bum with a paddle? He replied, basically. Now, James Powell wrote Freemasonry is too secretive. I don't think it's that secretive. You know, I think people kind of exaggerate, you know, what Freemasonry is. You know, but indeed, we have some people who know it all. They know everything. You know, they know what the Freemasons ate for breakfast. You know what I'm saying, and where they usually have dinners and who they've been in relationship with, and you know the meetings that they had. And eventually they would say, you know, Marcus Garvey this, Marcus Garvey that. Now you have someone, for example, who was talking about John Henry Clark, the same guy who talked about we have a glyph that means Allah, you know, and some people still believe it to this day. It's just amazing. And I showed the messages he talked about, you know, John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben. They were basically being paid, you know what I'm saying, like they were agents, you know, to go against Islam. I mean, it never ends. It never ends, you know. What's most important is what can we really establish? What do we have indications of? What do we have records for? That's the most important. We can always talk about some stuff because not everything will be written down, you know, and laid down, you know. But you heard people talk about the King Alfred plan, you know. I don't know if I should consider it just like the Protocol of Zion, you know. But anyway. So Kemetic people, yeah, we have to get it together for real. We have to get it together for real. The Hebrews have their, you know, the place of worship. You know, the Anua have their temples. The Christians have their churches. What do Kemetic people have? There's a few Kemetic organizations. They have a place of gathering, a place of meeting, but most people don't even know about them. And when you look at the teachers of those different doctrines or movements, well, they are taken care of. They are appreciated. They are supported. I've been live streaming for 2 hours, 23 minutes. How many super chat have you seen? There was a time I used to get super chats on a regular basis. And I can suspect that, you know, some pseudos, you know, and ran them off. Even in France. The funny thing is that there was one guy who's from an organization that celebrates the fraud Kwanzaa. And he actually sent an email to many people in the community to say, you know, don't work with our brother Shaka. And one sister who was actually part of his organization, she didn't like that, so she sent it to me. So what did I do? I sent it to our group when we used to meet every week, every Sunday, and learn the Metanetra and learn the Swahili or Kiswahili and talk about current events. It was strictly for non-Abrahamic people. And I've sent it, and I was sarcastic. I said, you know, because actually, what happened is that when I received the email from the sister, I called him. I said, yo, because he used to come to our meetings. He came, you know, and I said, did you tell people to stop working with me and something like that? He said, no, I didn't say that. I said, okay, all right. And I called the other guy that was number 2 of their organization. And he said, no, it looks like some people are, you know, trying to, you know, cause us damage, cause us harm. I said, all right, okay. So then I sent the email. I said, I spoke to the 2 brothers. They both told me they didn't say that. They didn't send that. So be careful. Some people, you know, they hack your account and they send messages and they act like it's you. So then the guy called me and he said, I can't remember if he called me or if he wrote a message, but he said, yeah, I'm the one that sent that. You know what I'm saying? So kind of lost my thought, but yes, this was to highlight the fact that some people will try to tarnish your name and reputation, but they will not holler at you directly. They will do it the sneaky way. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, listen to what the person says. When you belong to a camp, you want to be loyal to your camp. But sometimes you might find out the hard way that, well, actually, the person that was wrong and disingenuous and lying is the person I used to roll with. Hey, how you doing, Claudia? Bonjour. Comment ça va? I mean, now I'm cool with my brothers. But remember, um, 2011, I had some people who accepted teaching that says Africans are living a jungle life. Africans are not civilized. And black means death. And I was really sad about this. You know. Oh, she wrote, ça va bien. Well, there's an N missing after the E. B-I-E-N. And then I don't know what the other word is supposed to be. I went through all the comments in the chat, so I would love to hear from some of you. Before I end this live stream, at least if one person could call, whether someone that called before or someone that never called before. We have 10 people online. And also, remember, and I shouldn't say that all the time, but at least, we have 12 people online now. At least if you can just hit the like button. Well, we have 11 likes. That's good. I'm not used to that. Usually there's a lot more, there's less like than people online. So we have Niggas who wrote that somebody promoted those Islamic teachings of jungle life. Yes. But it was allowed on the platform. And when you have a platform and you read saying, Black African power, you should not, let stuff like that. But that was the past. Like I said, I'm cool with those people now. I'm not cool with the guy who made a video and insulted my mother and my father, including me. The anonymous slander video, and later on, I got a way to find out that it was him, because he actually said verbally the same things I was saying in the video. But they're talking about being wise and civilized and not being savages. But he's, to this day, he hasn't apologized. He hasn't owned up to it. So it's clear who flagged my channel. Because when the dude was busted lying, talking about he says more in the nationality field of his passport, then all of a sudden my videos get flagged, and the videos I get flagged, there's videos about him when he made that lie. So yeah, I lost thousands of subscribers, in 1 week or 2 weeks period. One channel with like 4,000 subscribers and the other one with 3,000 subscribers. So I lost 7,000 subscribers within like a week or two. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that was then, I can't go back. We can't go back, And now we're trying, to keep it moving, pushing the information, getting some clarity, avoiding the pseudos. Because right now the pseudos are winning, Now niggas wrote, I think he was trying to sneak that Morris Islamic nonsense into the African community. Well, it's the same guy who said, you talk about you got all this love for Africa, but Africans didn't give a F about us. You know what I'm saying? They sold us, So there's a, double speech. You know what I'm saying? You say Black African power as a greeting, and then you go on your other channel or your other radio show and say, Africans didn't give a F about us. You know what I'm saying? We have many people who criticize Africans for the transatlantic slave trade for a strange reason. They don't criticize the Europeans who control that slave trade. So, you see, brothers and sisters, don't wait for the majority of Black people to be into a particular philosophy because you engage in it. You should engage in it because your heart and your soul, your mind, your spirit, your brain tells you that it's the right thing to do. Because don't get it twisted, the Kemetic people are a minority, and some people don't like being part of a minority. Yet the Maroons, the people who liberated Haiti, for example, they were once a minority. There's nothing wrong with being a minority. That can grow. We have children. There we have children. We can grow. But some people don't want us to grow. Why? Because what we teach is in opposition with their doctrine. And they make money out of it. Can you imagine those people who have organizations, a doctrine / religion, and they have places of worship, place of gathering all over the country, and sometimes at an international level? Do you imagine the money that they generate every week, every month? Do you think that they would just come out and say, well, actually, come to find out that, our doctrine is not factual, so I'm going to change something else when they get money every month? They will not do that. Claudia said, I had a friend who wanted to take my head off because I said white people have melanin. I used their freckles as an example of their red hair. The person could not accept. He could not accept it. My keyboard skills are slipping. Pardon-moi. Pardonnez-moi. Forgive me in French. Well, there have been some books about melanin. And some people feel like a lot of people think that only black people have melanin. I was even guilty back in like 2000 2004/2005 on my message board back then. I wrote that only black people have melanin. One person, I can't remember if it's a brother or sister, who apparently knew about medicine / biology, said that white people have melanin. And I went and I said, they don't have any, or if they do, they have just little. And I only said that because I heard somebody that was kind of looking up to, and he said that. So early on you make mistakes, but later on you learn not to just repeat something for face value because somebody that you look up to said it. You see, another thing that I said in 2005, I think. It was 2004, late 2004. During the meeting, I said that Jesus was black. Yeah. So, hey, I ain't gonna push that because I said that years ago. I was wrong about that. And of course, his historicity can be questioned, but if he existed, the population there in Canaan, non-black people during that period. All right. Well, if it's good talking to you, brothers and sisters, it looks like we're gonna put an end to this live stream soon because people don't want to get on the panel and there's less messages. You know what I'm saying? So I went through all the messages in the chat. So what should we do, brothers and sisters? Should we call it a day or should we keep it moving? It's been 2 hours and 33 minutes now. I still have some time if people want to. So you see how funny it is that I always say that everybody's welcome, but you don't see anybody. But a lot of time you read comments and you have people who want to refute me and but they never do it when I'm live streaming. You don't have many channels where you can just get on the panel like that. You don't have that many. A lot of time they screen the calls, they screen the callers. They don't really let them speak. But it's all good. It is what it is. I ain't gonna lose sleep over it. But just for the record, for those who just happen to find out about this channel recently, everybody's welcome. You know what I'm saying? I have callers. I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't know if they're gonna try to refute me. I don't know if they're gonna try to, disprove some of my claims. You know what I'm saying? I just take it as it comes. You know what I'm saying? And if people agree, then it's even better. Nice, smooth conversation of like-minded people with like-minded people. So, yeah, Tahaka Bay, I don't think he wants me back on his channel because to defend his ideology, he ultimately said that Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden are melanated, or were melanated, because they are no longer alive. And that's just, yes, we hear it all now. Just like another Moor who said that the Prince of Wales was black, King Edward or Prince Edward. I mean, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. Just like some people say that King James was black. Man, we cannot hear it all, man. We cannot hear it all. Just like some people say that Muhammad ibn Abdullah was black. The Arabs of the 7th century were black. You notice we don't have much people talking about this now. See, I told you about a young French-speaking guy. He's originally from an African country, and he learned the Arabic to the point of being kind of fluent. So he came up with this claim as well, and he had a lot of popularity. And ultimately, he said, okay, now I'm going to go to mosques and ask people to talk about this issue, to debate about this issue. He hasn't made a video in more than a year. I think that what happened is that he tried to go to a mosque, and they told him, man, if you don't shut your mouth about that topic, man, before we handle you the way we should, and you realize, you know what, I'm going to move to something else. Or maybe he came across some people who is fluent in Arabic, and who just let him know real quick that, his thesis, his hypothesis just doesn't hold any weight. You have a link to the article in the description, but we're using the Sunnah, we're using the Hadith, and we're using Sahih Hadith. So that's the end of the conversation, But that claim was kind of, popular because people just don't know the Arabic. They don't know the Hadith. They don't know that there's Sahih Hadith and others who are not Sahih. But once they take the time, they realize, okay, I'm not going to make a fool out of myself. But it was popular for a while. And it's the same with the Medu Neter. People don't have knowledge of the Medu Neter. So somebody comes up and says, well, this glyph means Allah, then they believe it. And now we have people trying to change the meaning of glyphs. Try to change the meaning of Medu Neter. And I would really love to have people who are introduced to the Medu Neter, initiated in the Medu Neter, and rather than just spending the time disproving the whack claims of the so-called conscious community, then we can just, deal with the text and so on, But a lot of our people are cheap because they will spend the money in the clubs, in the drug, in the alcohol, in the design of clothes. But when it's time to spend money to learn that beautiful ancient language, they don't want to do it. They don't put value into it. They don't feel like it's worthy of money being invested in that. And it's a shame. You can look at all the different channels who teach you that Africans are living a jungle life, who teach you that Africans are living that Africans are not civilized, that black means death, and all these crazy teachings. When they are live streaming, look at how many super chat they get. So they have people who are like-minded. They have people who believe in those stuff, and they support them. Why don't my people support me? Is it because some pseudos told you some bad stuff about me? Or is it because I don't live in America? Or is it because my skin complexion is not up to the standard? Or is it because of my accent? What could it be? Whoever told you some smack about me, how come they don't come and talk? I try to talk with people. You heard the result. Disrespect. If people don't agree with me, I'm not going to disrespect them just because they don't agree with me. So you hear the pseudos talking now, it will not last long. It will last with their groupies, with their cheerleaders, yes. But for over 10 years, they've never even had scholars vouching for them. And it's a good reminder that we know that those people have plagiarized. Since when plagiarizing is cool? Since when is it cool? We should not accept just anything just for the sake of it, just because we like the person that said it. You can accept someone, but you don't have to accept their BS. There shouldn't be any friendship scholarship. Friendship scholarship is wrong. That's my friend. I agree with him. That's my homie. I agree with him. No, don't do that, brothers and sisters. Don't do that. So, should I call it a day now? No more questions, no more comments. Nobody wants to call in. Nobody wants to give a super chat. Nobody wants to send a PayPal or Cash App. $, my ad forever. I'm telling you, the others, man. Some people might say I'm jealous, but the other people, when they live stream, man, they get so many super chat. It's crazy. All right, no more participation is cool. I have to work tomorrow morning anyway. It's been 2 hours and 41 minutes. It was lovely. I'm giving metal lecture classes for those who are interested. $10 for an hour. If you are interested, send me an email. You have the email address in the description of this video. I recommend that you watch the video called Kemet Mad. As a matter of fact, I will share the links. This is Kemet Mad. It has 300,000 views. Let me see. Yes, 389,000 views. Then I'm going to share the video entitled this is an article about the color of the Arabs of the 7th century, including Prophet Muhammad according to the Islamic sources. Very detailed. Nobody refuted the article. It's really irrefutable. For anyone to refute this article, it means that that person will refute the hadith. And it's very hard to do for a Muslim. Now, hold on. I'm trying to copy that stuff. This is giving me trouble. I don't like when it does that. Okay, there it is. Thank you, Claudia. You got all the best, Shaka. Then I'm going to share the video entitled Deception of Asiatic Black Men. You will see that your Asiatic Black Men movements derive from Freemasonry. Yes. Yes. Surprised some Asiatic Black men don't like me. And this video, White Semite's Black Awakening, probably the most important video about the ethnicity of ancient people. And I'm talking about mainly people from the Levant, from the Near East, from Mesopotamia, from the Middle East, from Sumer, Akkad, and all that. They were white-skinned people. No Black Semites, my brothers and sisters, from 2500 until our present day. Now 50,000 BC, I don't do those dates. But if Abraham existed, he was white-skinned. If Moses existed, he was white-skinned. If Jesus existed, he was white-skinned. If Muhammad existed, he was white-skinned. The population of those areas during the time of the patriarchs, from Abraham until whoever came after, they were white-skinned. Some people might tell you they were melanated. The Russians are melanated. Here, our good sister, Claudia Barton, she sent me $10 on the super chat. I appreciate that, sister. And that sister, I even sent me some cash app about maybe 2 weeks ago, you know. And it's a shame that's always the same people who make the nation. Some people have been following me for years and never even once in their lifetime made a donation. It's not an obligation, though, you know. But, you know, think about your brother. You see the work that I do. You see the museums that I go to, you know. Now, we have the brother who still came, but he doesn't want to show his face. So I'm not going to put him on. He will probably send me some other private messages. Yeah, there it is. I had 7, now I have 8, you know, but hey. Maybe one day you will have the courage, you will have the heart to show your face. Now he's gone. I'm not going to look at the private message, but I bet he wrote, "You're scared, you're scared." So what other video did I want to share? Claudia wrote, "You are worth much more." Thank you. I appreciate that. And sometimes black people realize that when you're old and gray or when you're gone. But some people appreciate, and, you know, they try to support me, you know. And for those who feel like, well, you know, I don't want to just, you know, make a donation like that, you know what I'm saying? You have the classes, so it's an even exchange. You learn a skill, you learn a language or a writing, and then, you know, I'm compensated for the time and the effort. But regardless, it's all good, you know. But maybe I will start to, maybe I will have to start learning, you know, teaching French. Some people want to learn French, so, you know, who knows? We could do that as well, you know. Some people feel like, you know, there's no, and some people try to act like, you know, there's no point learning the med lecture, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a shame. It's just a shame. Now, the other video I want to share is, I've entitled it Shabazz Malediction. This is the supreme wisdom of the Asiatic black man. Now, this link here is the Medu-Neter sign list according to the classification of Gardiner, Sir Alan Gardiner. And here's just my website. That's the English part. Those who are French speakers, you just remove the English at the end. And, well, basically, this is the address that you have here. You know, for the sake of space, I did not put the whole URL. But basically, you type in afrostyle.com and then you put /English. But you have the link in the description of my videos anyway. So there you have it. You know, the video that I really recommend everybody to watch is the one called Kemet in Ma'at. You know, it's a real nice introduction to Kemet. And if you want to help me out, share that video everywhere. It's the missing link in Black history. Meaning that most black people don't know that part of Black history. They prefer to make Moses black, Muhammad black, Jesus black, King James black. Oh my goodness. So stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to buy the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu-Neter classes, and here, that's the flyer. Okay, so those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Medu-Neter class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Medu-Neter lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Netia, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Netia, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Netia classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.